Distractions. Breathe with me for a moment. Humans keep mistaking the noise for the self. Not just the scrolling, the chaos, the arguments. No, I'm talking about the deeper distractions. The ones you can't turn off with a button. The distractions of old wounds, conditional reactions, and survival patterns that got stacked on us before we were old enough to spell our own names. Okay? We confuse all of that with identity and then wonder why we feel lost in the world. See, psychology taught me something pretty simple. Most people are reacting, not responding. They're running emotional programs laid down by trauma, by parents, society, religion, and the patriarchy. Whatever shaped them early. And the nervous system, bless its little ancient heart, it's built for danger, not for peace. So it memorizes everything that ever hurt us and then runs that script like it's gospel. But just like the elders of Turtle Island taught, your spirit is older than your scars are, Mary. I'm Mary. That's what they told me. The Potawatomi fire keepers put it to me like this. When a human forgets who they are, the world around them goes dim. Not because the world changed, but because their inner flame got buried under everything they survived. And I'm speaking from a place that I've survived a lot of trauma. That flame, that awareness, that's the spark the Creator put in each of us. It doesn't break, it doesn't age, it doesn't disappear when you're shattered on the floor or in a wheelchair or when you're rising in your wisdom. It just waits. And when we forget that flame, we cling to distractions. Not just your phone, that's the obvious one, right? Scrolling, doom scrolling. I'm talking about internal distractions, thoughts that run you instead of you running them. Emotions that hijack you for hours or days or weeks, and in my case, years. Old stories you mistake for truth. Conditioning you confuse for personality. When I was a little girl, I was 9 years old and I had a really pretty dress for Christmas. I was so proud. I felt so pretty. And my father said to me, "Wow, Mary, you clean up pretty good for an ugly kid." So I went the next 30 years thinking I was ugly because my dad said to me in a moment of weakness when I was a child, I cleaned up really good for an ugly kid. Every one of those pulls you away from the field of awareness that's always been watching, the quiet witness, the unbroken part of you, that goddess, God's spark in your chest that remembers exactly who the fuck you are, even when you don't remember. And you know why people feel that aching, that emptiness, that silent sense of, oh my gosh, something's missing? It's because something is missing. Your attention. Not your soul, not your worth, not your power, just your awareness. It's been hijacked by distractions so long that when you finally slow down, your soul taps you on the shoulder like, hey, finally, I've been waiting to hear from you again. Let's get going, let's get busy. My native teachings taught me that when the mind gets loud, the spirit will whisper. When the mind gets quiet, the spirit will sing. But most folks never still long enough to hear their own song. They're too busy, too distracted. So as a witch, as a scholar, as a survivor, I can tell you a few things. The mind will never understand awareness because the mind is inside awareness, okay? So the mind is like a wave trying to understand the ocean. It can't. It can feel the ocean because it's in the ocean. That's what waves are. They're part of the ocean, right? The mind is like that. The mind is always trying to understand the bigger picture. But when you stop merging with every reaction, when you stop believing every single thought, and you step back, and you stop identifying or feeling like what passes through the body is kind of like an internal check we do on ourselves, right? That's when your entire field inside you opens up. Your nervous system stops contracting, but your spirit gets to breathe. So you rise out of that survival self and slip back into the true self, the one you're meant to be, the one untouched by trauma, untouched by conditioning, untouched by every name someone tried to put on you. This is the work. And I know everybody wants dramatic ritual, some mountaintop revelation, some booming cosmic voice telling you, oh my gosh, you're enlightened. No, nobody gives you a diploma for healing. Nobody gives you a diploma for figuring yourself out. But the truth is, the God is truth, it's a lot quieter than that. Because the work is this. Notice when the distraction shows up, name it, and then don't merge with it. Bring your awareness back to front and center. That's it. It's not glamorous, it's not complicated, it's just real. When those layers loosen, the survival patterns, the pain, the old stories, you discover something wild. You were here the whole time. That healed version of you has always existed. Not healed because life got easy, healed because the real you stepped forward again. Native elders call this remembering your original face. Psychology calls it self-integration. Witches call it returning to your power. I call it the goddess stepping back into her fucking throne. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, but here's the kicker. When you remember who you are beneath the distraction, you can also see who everyone else is too, right? You see the spark in them. You see the awareness in all beings. You see the truth the colonizers feared, the patriarchy feared, the churches feared. We are all one. We always were. We always will be, and we always have been. And once you see that, no distraction can take you off your path again.